Everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, the Layman Apologist, and I am back with another Faith in 5, the show where I take core Christian truths or doctrines and try to explain them in 5 minutes or less. Now, this question was submitted by a supporter of mine. Why did Uzzah die for touching the ark? Now, forgive my pronunciation. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce his name, but here in Northern Ireland we say Uzzah, so deal with it. So we see this story appear in 2 Samuel chapter 6. David is bringing the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. The ark begins to shake on the cart. Uzzah reaches out to steady it, and God strikes him dead. Now, for many of us that have read that for the first time, we look at that and go, wow, that seems disproportionate. What happened there? Surely Uzzah was right to hold the ark up. Uzzah appears to be helping. His instinct seems to be understandable. If anything, he looks like the hero of the story rather than the villain. Now, the difficulty often arises because we instinctively read the account from Uzzah's perspective rather than God's. To understand what is happening, we must first understand what the ark represented. The Ark of the Covenant was not just a religious artifact. It symbolized God's throne and his presence among his people. It occupied the most sacred space in Israel's worship and served as a visible reminder that the holy God dwelt in the midst of a sinful nation. Because of this, God had given very specific instructions regarding its transportation. The ark was to be carried by Levites using poles inserted through rings on its sides. It was not to be placed on a cart. It was not to be touched. These instructions were not arbitrary. They were not obscure. God gave them very clearly for a very important reason. They had already been revealed centuries earlier through Moses. God takes his holiness incredibly seriously. So when David's procession begins, the first problem is not Uzzah's reaction. The first problem is that the ark is already being transported in a manner contrary to God's command. Rather than being carried as prescribed, it has been moved on a cart, a common cart, moved by cattle. The crisis then that follows from all of this emerges from an act of disobedience that had already begun before the ark was even put on the cart. So when it's moving along and it begins to wobble, we're already in trouble. So the context forces us to reconsider the event completely. The issue is not a man being punished for an innocent mistake. The issue concerns God's holiness being treated casually by people who possess clear instructions concerning how he was to be approached. Yet even this explanation can leave us modern readers a little bit unsatisfied. We still find ourselves asking why touching the ark was such a serious offense in the first place. But the answer actually lies in our assumptions about holiness and impurity, because most of us read that passage assuming that the ground is dirty and that Uzzah's hand is clean. Now, from that perspective, reaching out to prevent the ark from touching the dirty earth seems like an act of reverence. However, the ground was behaving exactly as God created it to behave. There was nothing in the earth that would sully or dirty the ark. Uzzah, however, sincere as he may have been, was a fallen human being. The danger was never that the ark might become contaminated by dirt. The danger was that sinful humanity continually underestimates the seriousness of approaching a holy God on his own terms. Throughout Scripture, one theme repeatedly emerges. God's holiness is not something to be treated lightly. Nadab and Abihu offer unauthorized fire before the Lord. Isaiah is overwhelmed by his own uncleanness when confronted with God's glory. Peter falls before Christ and cries out, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." The closer human beings come to a true understanding of God's holiness, the less casual they become about their approach to him. The death of Uzzah therefore functions as a warning, not because God is a capricious monster, but because human beings are prone to familiarity. Sacred things can become ordinary to us. We can begin to assume that our good intentions are sufficient, even when God has already said how he must be approached. Interestingly, David himself initially responds with anger and confusion. The event disrupts the celebration and forces him to reflect upon what has happened. Later, when the ark is brought to Jerusalem again, the instructions that God had originally given are finally followed. The lesson had been learned. So the account of Uzzah is not ultimately about a man touching, a slightly holy box or reverent box. It's about the fact that God's presence was symbolized being in that box, that his presence was there amongst his people. It's about holiness of God and the tendency of fallen people to assume that our sincerity can replace our obedience. The God of Israel was never interested merely in just being acknowledged by Israel. He was meant to be approached as he had revealed himself. Now, for us Christians, that passage also points beyond itself. The holiness that once made access to God so dangerous is the same holiness addressed by Christ's priestly work. Through his death and resurrection, believers are invited to approach God's throne with confidence. Yet the confidence of the Christian life is never rooted in familiarity with God on our own terms. It rests upon the mediation of Christ, through whom sinners are indeed welcomed into the presence of God, whose holiness remains unchanged. We do not come before God with an unreverent approach. God bless, folks. I hope this helped. I'll see you in the next one.